In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Alright folks, this is Rick Robinson with you. I want to tell you about some friends of mine from a company called Security Enforcement Specialists. When I ran my security agency for 12 years, I worked with one of these partners on a daily basis. He's been involved in this agency now, and with his other partner, they do have over 30 years of experience in the private security industry. If you own a business and you need someone to keep you or your customers or residents safe, then I highly recommend contacting Security Enforcement Specialists today. Give them a call at 405-703-1796. Again, that's 405-703-1796. Again, tell them Rick from K98 Talk sent you. Like I said, if you need the help, they are here for you. So make sure that you go look them up, check them out, and see what they can do.
Wrong way. Welcome to the place.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000, my heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Whoa! Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Let's get started again.
The debate's still going on, but we're going to get this thing started right now. Time for a little snap reaction. Here we go.
Get ready to fight from within. You're about to go behind enemy lines on K98.
Roger, 3-2. Goliath copies all. Go ahead. Target is surrounded by multiple firms entering what appears to be a residential area. Requesting permission to engage.
From the People's Republic of New York City, you're now going behind enemy lines with Gene Baradelli and Russ Gallo.
And you are now behind enemy lines. Hey there, how you doing? Gene Baradelli here, back at home after a very long night of recording at Cafe on the Hill in beautiful Gravesend, Brooklyn, New York, where the Brooklyn Young Republicans threw a debate watch party to watch the second GOP presidential debate from the Reagan Library in sunny California. So what we're going to do tonight is just, first of all, I'm going to get some pet peeves out from the debate, and then we're going to take you to some audio that we did from that night, talking to, of course, Watson Prunier from We Are America Radio, the number one political talk station on Live365.com. He gave his views on a host of issues, including who should stay on the stage and who should get off the stage. But before we get to all that, I got some pet peeves I gotta get off my chest about CNN. It's been bothering me all night watching the whole debate. Now listen, I know it's in vogue to bash the media. I know that it's always fun to go after the mainstream. But really, CNN, I got a bone to pick with you about the job that you did in this debate, especially the first 90 minutes of it. First of all, it was a 3-hour marathon. I felt like I just endured American Ninja Warrior watching this whole thing. I don't know how Isaac Caldero feels, but if it was anything like watching 3 hours of just political yammering on and on and on, most of it inane, by the way, thanks to CNN. Yeah, that's quite an endurance challenge. CNN did a couple of things different in this debate than what Fox did. First of all, it was more of a free-for-all, and that of course means ratings, than it would be for Fox's debate. Even though Fox had the ratings because of their Fox, and they get the ratings in the cable news market. CNN wanted to pick fights. That was their goal from the beginning. And they did it in a junior high school schoolyard way. Hey, Carly Fiorina, guess what Donald Trump said about you? He said, ba 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 ba. What do you have to say about that? Go. I mean, come on. They were having them do the gotcha work for CNN. You know what, CNN? Next time just say, hey, he called you a duty head. What do you have to say? Go punch him in the eye. And then send them both to the principal's office. Because that's what you wanted to do to all these candidates. That's pet peeve number 1. Pet peeve number 2 for me? Soundbite killers. CNN killed every soundbite. I don't know if it was intentional or just a style or if they had to just move on and they were pressured for time. But every single candidate had a soundbite that they were trying to get out, and they would go into that last sentence, and next thing you hear was, okay, all right, so-and-so, you're next. Okay, yes, thank you, all that. Yeah, come on, CNN, you're better than that. Or at least you're supposed to be anyway. Some people would argue that you're not better than that in this part for the course. Candy Crawley, anyone? But you're supposed to be better than that. Russ Gallo later on in the show is going to talk about how a debate should be run, and that moderators should be seen and not heard. And I totally agree with that. It was a raucous night with the Brooklyn Young Republicans. By the way, check them out at www.brooklynYRS.com. There'll be some photos up about this party. I'm sure you'll see a lot of great young faces and some old ones like me. I'm not exactly a YR anymore, folks. I'm kind of an old R, or at least heading that way. But I haven't aged out yet. I'm almost at 40, and then they'll age me out. But it was a great job put together by Diana Sepulveda, the president of the YRs, and of course our own Russ Gallo, who's the treasurer there at Cafe on the Hill. If you are ever in the Gravesend if you are ever in the Gravesend section of Brooklyn, check out Cafe on the Hill. Real Italian dining the way it should be. It's not like an Italian restaurant where you get served a huge plate of food and, everything's, square dishes and cloth napkins and all. No. This is Italian cooking the way Mama does it. Family style dining. You put the food on the table, everybody grabs and takes. You're breaking bread, you're loud, you're obnoxious. It was a great time. Great food, great company, great drinks, and a great time listening to the debate. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to return with some audio from the debate that night at Cafe on the Hill at the debate watch party with a little bit of insight after that marathon of mayhem. Gene Baradelli behind enemy lines. We'll be back right after this brief word.
Are you among the 64% of Americans who believe our country is going in the wrong direction? If yes, then eVoiceAmerica.com is the political take-action site we've all been waiting for. And it's really free. eVoice America provides your personal list of elected reps every time you log on. This makes it so easy to email your opinions and e-votes on top issues directly to each of our D.C. elected representatives. eVoice then publishes our e-vote majority percentages on top issues to each member of Congress and the media. Now, for the first time in history, we can know what millions of American citizens are telling Congress. No more gridlock. Join the new American majority using eVoiceAmerica.com, putting Americans in control of Congress. Visit eVoiceAmerica.com today. It's free and easy to use. That's eVoiceAmerica.com.
Hey everybody, Gene Baradelli here, and for those of you who know me, who have met me at a conference around the country, or have just even seen my photo online, you know I'm not the most fit guy in the world. In fact, exercise and I are not good friends at all. But I'm starting to do it more, and I'm starting to eat right, and I'm going to start taking Diabetics from Green Turtle Bay Vitamin Company. Diabetics is the first FDA-authorized multivitamin supplement for diabetics and for those like me who are predisposed to diabetes and have difficulty absorbing nutrients. Diabetics contains ingredients not included in multivitamin formulas for the general public and is unique for people like me who have diabetes running in their family. So I'm going to start eating right, I'm going to start taking Diabetics, I'm going to start exercising more, and I'm going to take you on this journey with me. That's Diabetics with a K, one of the many great supplements from Green Turtle Bay Vitamin Company. For more information, check out www.energywave.com.
Behind Enemy Lines. Back on the air.
Gene and Russ, back behind enemy lines. We got Duke Machado on the line with us. And Russ, the debate is over now. Thank goodness. Now, it just feels like, it's over. Norman, you know me. I'm like Patrick Ewing to Fallon anyway. But my God, man, 3 hours, over 3 hours of this. And some of the questions were great, some of them were okay, but most of it was horrible.
I do give CNN credit, though. I know people are bashing CNN. Megyn Kelly, I stand by my original assessment of her. She's not ready for prime time. She's an amateur. She ambushed the Republican Party. She's on a supposedly fair and balanced network and acted like an amateur. CNN, we know what to expect from them. Whether you call them the Communist News Network, the Clinton News Network, whatever you want to call them, they pitted Republican against Republican. That's what we expected from them, and I get it. So, kudos to CNN. You did what we expected you to do. You were the left-wing DBs. Can I say douchebags on the radio?
No, I think you can. Yes, I think you can. Duke, I think we're going to allow the DB word. Is that correct? We are after 11 o'clock, aren't we?
left-wing DBs that we all know you are. Megyn Kelly, we expected better. So let's just put that chapter into the books. That chapter 1 closed.
All right, debate over. I got Duke's take on winners. I didn't get your take on winners, Russ. Who won?
Winners, listen, Donald Trump, he won. Donald Trump's the man. Donald Trump's unstoppable. I know Gene's going to plug the blog later, but go read my latest post. Donald Trump is a machine that cannot be beat at this point. He's a juggernaut. Everything he's saying is what people believe. I saw a poll on the Drudge Report today, Gene, that said 92% of the American people think that a wall should be built along our southern border and that immigration is a real problem. So, 92%, that has to include lots of Democrats. So when people talk about like the swing states, guess what you need to worry about? Not so much the swing states. You get a guy like Donald Trump with a populist message, with a conservative slant. You got states all of a sudden that you never thought would be in play, all of a sudden in play.
You know, Duke, I want to get you in on this conversation a little bit. Talking about Donald Trump, it felt like he had a very strong start when we were dealing with all the junior high school playground antics. But when we started to get substantive, he kind of fell off a little bit, didn't he?
Well, you know, here's the thing, and this is, you know, I'm not a Donald Trump supporter. I know a lot of people are, and there's a lot of things I like about him. But I've always said, you know, he doesn't provide any details. He's not really, he's really good at throwing out the red meat, you know, and he's good at saying the things that people want to hear. But when you talk about how you're going to accomplish it, it's a different story. And I think what he realized tonight is that his tactic of only throwing red meat is not going to work much longer. And I think tonight several people kind of put him in his place and ended some of the rhetoric that he was going around using over and over again.
Oh, absolutely. I think that maybe did Donald find a match in Carly Fiorina, Russ?
Yeah, he found several matches. He found a match with Fiorina. He found a match with Ben Carson. Jeb Bush, the guy he talked about as being weak, Jeb Bush put him in his place several times. You know, when he said, "Here's my wife," why don't you apologize to her?
Yeah, you know what? I did. First of all, Russ Gallo, the awkward white guy high five between Trump and Carson. Can we just talk about that for a second? Did Carson leave him hanging? It looked did that moment? I mean, as scary as it sounds, could a moment like that hurt a Donald Trump?
First of all, Carson did not leave him hanging. Very awkward. Listen, white guys just don't do high fives or low fives, whatever it is. We're just not good at it. But besides that, you want to talk about a match like Trump met his match? No, I think Trump met his running mate. Trump and Carson, they unite forces. Guess what? This election is a wrap, folks. They already got over 50% of the poll numbers in the Republican Party. Donald Trump is touching, as well as Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson. They're hitting on issues that are wedge issues with the American people, that cross party lines. The majority of Democrats also believe that illegal immigration is a problem. Guess what? They're both tough on that stance. The rest of these Republican candidates, or so-called Republican candidates, they're not. Jeb Bush, nowhere near as tough as Ben Carson or Donald Trump. Carly Fiorina, she might have a stake in this now, but she never really took a stance. Carly Fiorina, by the way, excellent job tonight. I'm going to give like an objective opinion on her. Excellent job. She stepped up to the plate. She definitely belonged on the top stage. I don't know what Kasich was doing there, really. What is he polling at?
Well, he was only there for half a debate, though, right? Wasn't he? I mean, I didn't see him for the second half so much.
And as much as I like Huckabee as like a Fox News host, Huckabee needs to go too. Like, there's a lot of guys that need to go.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. Me, you, and Duke are going to play this game right now. Duke, we're going to play a game called Stay on the Stage or Get Off the Stage, okay? I'm going to start naming names of some of the middling candidates, and I just want to know very quickly, I'm going to start with Russ, and I'll go to you. On the stage or off the stage? Okay, so let's start. You mentioned Kasich, Russ. On the stage or off the stage?
Kasich, gone.
Kasich off the stage. What do you say, Duke?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear with the game on the stage or off the stage. I'm sorry, it's too hard for me to hear.
Do you think?
Yeah, you might pass to someone else. I can't even hear you.
Okay, Duke. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to try to get Watson on in a second, and I'm going to let you go. By the way, check out the Duke Machado show on We Are America Radio, folks. We'll get you all the information on that. And let's get Watson in here right now. I'm going to get him on the line. I'm going to get him on the horn, as they say. Man, it's all falling apart, Russ.
By the way, Gene is sweating like
Patrick
Ted Cruz in a Republican debate.
Can we talk about that for a second while I'm getting Watson on the line? Can we talk about how the climate control in that place seemed to make everybody look like Richard Nixon in the Nixon debate? I mean the Nixon-Kennedy debate?
I mean, I don't know what was going on. CNN, I don't know if the lights were turned up or the air conditioning was turned off or if global warming is real. I really don't know what the explanation is, but every Republican candidate seemed to be sweating.
All right. Watson, are you there?
I'm here now. Can you hear me?
There he is. Okay, I finally have to figure out how to work this Skype thing. Oh, I am so sorry about that. We lost Duke, unfortunately. He said he couldn't hear us so much. We're going to start the game over again. John Kasich, on the stage or off the stage?
Get off the stage.
Kasich off the stage. I'm going to agree with everybody on that. It's going to get a little harder from this point on, given how everything was. Chris Christie, Russ Gallo, on the stage or off the stage?
Off.
Why?
Chris Christie is, you know when someone's not acting like themselves? Like almost like a bipolar type disorder. No offense to all of our bipolar listeners, several of which are at the bar with us now. No offense to the bipolar listeners, but Chris Christie's not acting like himself. Chris Christie was Donald Trump before Donald Trump was Donald Trump on the political stage. And now he's trying to act like an elder statesman. Chris Christie, be yourself, dude, or get off the stage.
Watson, what do you say?
I agree. Because of the fact that one of the things that we knew a long time ago was that he was one of those Manchurian candidates. He's basically wiped the butt of the liberal progressives and all of a sudden now has a backbone against the very people we need to put down. No, thank you. You sounded really good, but I'm not buying your pep rally preaching, brother.
All right. Going to keep getting harder because we're going to start getting to some of those arch conservatives now, or supposedly arch conservatives. Russ Gallo, Rand Paul, on or off the stage?
He's got to stay. I love Rand Paul. Rand Paul is a good man, lots of ideas. He keeps the Republicans honest. Any libertarian on the stage is a good thing for the Republican Party.
Watson, what do you say?
I'm mixed on that, only because of the fact that while I voted for while I was ticked off how the Republicans basically shysted Ron Paul in the past, I did vote for the Libertarian candidates in both primary elections. But I'm mixed right now. I'm really mixed because he waffles for me too many times. And while I do want a Libertarian up there, he's a little bit too much John Kerry for me. So I'm going to say get off the stage for now.
All right, he says off the stage. We're going to bring in some listeners that are here in the bar with us. Hi, sir. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, John Morrison from Queens.
All right, John, what do you do?
I am a member of the National Guard with our good friend Russ Gallo behind enemy lines.
Oh, God. Is he one of your commanding officers?
He absolutely is. Two drink minimum when we're training.
Oh, my goodness. Well, let me ask you this. Overall impression of the debate, biggest winner, biggest loser. What do you think?
Biggest winner of the debate in my personal humble opinion,
it's
Ben
radio,
Carson.
You got to talk. Ben Carson's the winner.
Ben Carson.
All right. And why do you think Ben Carson won?
Ben Carson's the winner because he actually expressed some skill that we didn't know he had. He does have some worldviews, and everybody penalized him for not having a record, not having the actual experience to act on a world stage. He does have that experience. Biggest loser tonight has to be Paul. Paul took it too much on the chin. I love Paul. I stand with Rand, but he took it on the chin too hard tonight. He's our big loser tonight.
All right. Well, thanks for coming down to the event and everything. Glad to have you on. Russ, you're bringing in people from your unit now. That's pretty good. Talk about behind enemy lines. That's like way behind enemy lines.
Listen, we got to get citizen soldiers on this free speech train. John's a great man, brilliant, by the way. One of the guys I lean on all the time. I respect his opinion. Ben Carson is a great candidate. In any other year, in any other cycle, Ben Carson, Ted Cruz, these are the guys I would be like heavily leaning towards. By the way, I still think Ted Cruz would be the best candidate to be our president. But with that said, Gene, Donald Trump is the quarterback of the high school football team. And he is playing a game against the high school chess team.
That's a great analogy,
Who
actually.
wins? You know what I mean? The cool guy wins.
You know, this goes back to your idea of manliness that you wrote in your article on our blog, www.BehindEnemyLinesRadio.us. Check it out while you're listening. Watson, I want your take on Ben Carson's night. First of all, the suit. I thought it was a great look. He distinguished himself from everybody else, showed a little style. And he had a great night. I think he came off better than what people thought of him, especially when you talk about foreign policy.
You know what? Okay. Neurosurgeon, brilliant guy, awesome thing. My only contention with Ben, and while he is not the establishment, he's a brilliant person. I was expecting a little bit more chutzpah. I don't know if I'm just really liking what I see in the chutzpah and Cruz and Jindal. He came off a little bit too soft-spoken for me, and you know what? I don't want, as one of the candidates said today, let's not put another novice in there because we're dealing with the hell of having the current novice in court in power right now. Don't put an intelligent black man in there to replace the idiot that's ruining our country. So I've got to say, get off the stage, Ben.
Republican members in Congress ran for whatever reasons they ran for, which were all conservative for the most part that won. What have they done since they've been elected? We've controlled both houses of Congress since January. It's now September, late September. And what bills have they passed for Barack Obama to veto? Have they passed a bill to repeal and replace Obamacare? That's in every one of their damn platforms. They haven't.
Well,
so, you know what?
I'm there with them 100%.
Novices, I'll take a novice. Ben Carson, I love you, brother. Stay on that stage.
All right, go ahead, Watson. You get to respond now.
So, and I agree 100% because even as I was pulling the levers for the Republicans and I'm making my vote, I even went to some of the delegates that were right in my face before I went to pull the lever, and I said, "Listen, don't disappoint me," because I said to them in 2012, "Don't disappoint me like you did in 2004. You had my full support, and you did diddly squat for the first 2 years." Yes, did I think that we were going to have a limp Congress? Even though the conservatives own the majority, yes, I knew it. They would do exactly what they're doing right now. I just wanted them to prove us right, that they were not going to stand up and have the cojones to deal with the dictator in charge. However, if we and mind you, while I believe that Donald is really strong and everything like that, his personality, and I think they said it. I think it was Carly who said it right now, more than anything else. Donald's for Donald. He's not for anybody else. He's not for any other particular party. He's for the party of Donald. And that what makes him dangerous. And I really believe that even though Ben is a smart, intelligent individual, we need someone with a little bit more force and backbone who can deal with these situations. We don't need a soft-spoken individual. We need someone with balls who's going to get there. And again, I think Ben Carson's a great guy. He may be a great Surgeon General, but President of the United States, no.
All right, man. Hey, Watson, do me a favor, because I got to bring Vito in on next, and I'm going to try to get you on towards the end of the show with some final thought stuff. Great analysis, by the way. And if you want to hear more of this, Watson, tell them where they can listen to you, especially your live show, the replays, all the good stuff, and, of course, your blog.
Okay. Watson Prunier on Battle for Freedom on War Radio on Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My website is freedom.com, battleforfreedom.com, as well as you can follow me on Twitter at Watson Prunier. That's Prunier. Replays come on Wednesdays at about 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but you do have a live player on my website at battleforfreedom.com that you can play all the previous broadcasts.
And you know what? I really got to apologize for Watson for I screwed up the phone lines and I didn't really have him on as much as I should have tonight. We're going to get him on again soon because as you hear, folks, he's got some great analysis. He's got some great insight, a great perspective. I listen to his show as much as I can with my schedule, but I always listen to it on podcast. Check it out. You'll be glad you did. Watson, you're the man. Thanks so much for coming on. I'm going to talk to you real soon, and thanks for helping out with this whole situation, even though it's been kind of a little bit of a train wreck. I appreciate your help, pal.
It's all good. It's all good.
Thank you, pal. All right, so now what we're going to do at this point, this is the part of the show where I get to talk about Cafe on the Hill, of course, here at 153 Avenue U in Brooklyn, New York. And what a great place, Russ. The food was fantastic. The entertainment on the TV was great. And our bartender, Carmine, he's kind of a heavy pour.
I love the man. Great bar, great restaurant. The food is terrific. If you're ever looking for authentic Italian food, first of all, my friend Carmine owns the place. His mother's the one who cooks. They don't have any illegal immigrants in the kitchen. Nothing like that. The mother's in the background cooking the food. You don't even need a menu. You come in, you say, listen, I want sausage and peppers. Guess what you have? You have sausage and peppers. You want chicken parmesan? You got chicken parmesan. The bar is great. Restaurant's great. Terrific place. Beautiful area. Gravesend, Brooklyn, New York. Be here. 153 Avenue U, Brooklyn, New York, Cafe on the Hill. Had to plug my friend. Thanks for letting us use the place, Carmine.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic stuff. All right, this is the part of the show I regret. Because I got to bring Vito and Vito on. Vito, wait. Get away from the girls. Get over here, please. God.
There's
all the
one
time.
74-year-old woman here for the record.
And they always find that one. It's going to get a little crowded here on the mic, but we don't care. V&V. Scoot over here. We're going to get everybody in. What's up, boys? How we doing?
How's everything going, Gene? We are rooting for Cruz. Those who said that Trump won tonight, they're smoking something. The winner was Carly, even though she's a rhino. But Cruz holding his own. Watch, he's going to be the nominee by 2016.
I think Carly did win. Cruz holding his own. I think Donald Trump slipped a little bit. I think he was acting like a child. Some parts of the debate.
Did anybody notice that towards the end of the debate when they started talking about facts, Donald was nowhere to be found? I just want to say that right now. He was nowhere to be found.
Surprise.
First of all, I disagree. I'll expand on this later on when we get rid of these two vetoes. But Donald Trump talks about facts. He talks about the specifics of his plan all the time. You guys are just not listening.
That's very interesting. By the way, Donald Trump's tax plan, if you're a true conservative, as Mr. Gallo claims he is, you wouldn't support a tax plan that increases taxes on hedge fund managers because you believe that you have a right to your own money and nobody has the right to take it away from you, no matter what the progressive income tax says. By the way, Donald Trump supports a progressive income tax. Was it a big plan a fan of the flat tax.
Hey, we'll see you in 2 weeks, he said.
Oh, can I answer this? Hold on, Vito. I'm going to let you in. Vito D, you can jump in for
By
a
the way,
second.
can someone take a picture of the 4 Italians huddling around one mic?
Oh, yeah, we do need a picture of this. But I got a Vito P attacked me, so I get a 30-second response. Number one, Donald Trump's plan is not going to be released for another 2 weeks, so you have no idea what the plan is. Number two, hedge funds. Define a hedge fund there, Vito.
Matter, Russ. I
No,
thought
no, no.
I thought
Define
you
a
have
hedge fund.
I thought you have a right to your life, liberty, and
Yeah,
property.
so I want to raise, hold on. I want to raise taxes on child molesters. Right or wrong?
What?
No?
This
Okay.
doesn't make any sense.
You don't even know what a hedge fund is. Define a hedge fund, tell me if it's wrong, and then we'll debate.
Hedge
if you
funds
don't
are
know what a
where
hedge fund is, there's no debate here.
Hedge fund
I'll meet you next week. We'll talk about it
Hedge
next week.
fund, it's where the big money goes. That's where the big money players go ahead and invest their money. But explain something to me, Russ. So just because I have lots of money means that I should go ahead and get taxed from it? From Donald Trump?
Tell me what a hedge fund is, and we can continue the conversation.
I just said it.
If
I
you don't
just
know
said
what
it.
it is, what is it?
A hedge fund is where the big money goes to invest. That's
No,
where
no,
the
no,
big
no. That's-
investors are.
The big money goes to invest in oil. They go into invest in real estate. That's not a definition of a hedge fund. You tell me what a hedge fund is, and then I'll debate you whether or not we should tax them.
I think I already got that.
We'll
but
save
go
it for
ahead.
next week, Gene. If Vito has a strong opinion on something, he's got to tell me what it is. I can tell you right now I'm against abortion. And then if Vito says, well, what is an abortion? And I say, well, I don't really know what it is. There's no debate there. So we'll skip that. Next week. Go ahead, Vito D.
Listen, Donald Trump has spoken about the tax plan, and Elizabeth Warren has come out and supported his own plan. So what does that say, number one? And number two, once more debates come through and he stopped talking about foreign policy so much like we've seen in the last two debates, Donald Trump will not be able to go into detail with the policy and come out that he's not as conservative as other candidates on the stage like Ted Cruz.
Donald Trump has good ideas, I think, in terms of immigration, but when it comes down to it, the man's a Democrat. I'm sorry. You got great conservatives in Cruz. You got a great libertarian conservative in Paul. Why are we wasting our time with these people? We should be focusing and uniting behind one candidate who's consistent enough and has proven it in the past.
Yes, Rhino Jeb Bush. All right, so Vito, when you're ready to debate me on the hedge fund thing, invite me on your show, which you can plug right now. But invite me on your show, and we'll finish this discussion. We'll record it and play it on our show.
Just for the record, I do think I defined the hedge fund, but Mr. Gallo doesn't want to answer the question because he's a socialist in disguise.
This is my friend Vito. My friend Vito Palmieri. Yes, this is what a hedge fund is. A hedge fund is something that begins with an H and ends with an edge. That's what a hedge fund is. That's not a definition, my brother.
Russ, you haven't given me any examples. I defined the hedge fund earlier for you. But listen, I don't want to take up your time. The Vito and Vito show every Thursday.
No, you can't use my Google to look for it. Yeah, keep talking.
Every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check us out at VitoandVito.com, and we'll define what a hedge fund is, and we'll explain to you why no matter whether you make $1 or you make $1 trillion, it doesn't matter. You have a right to your own money.
Can someone have sent a search party for Vito D, because he hasn't answered the question in about a half hour?
I feel like Ted Cruz in the beginning of the debate. Listen, as I said, Carly won this. We're going to see more with Donald Trump coming in the next couple of debates. I don't think he's going to go into great detail with his policies.
Vito D, can you just spit out some opinions with no facts or rational basis like your partner Vito P? Is there any way you could do that?
I can if you listen to the Vito and Vito show tomorrow at 8
I
p.m.
disagree with global warming. Hey, what's global warming?
It's the biggest threat we're
I
facing
don't really
right now.
know. I can tell you. I'll Google it. Maybe I'll know tomorrow. All right.
I just wanted to find what a hedge fund is so that our listeners exactly know what it is. But I can't do it because Vito's standing right here.
No, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it this week.
Well, listen.
Like a liberal, you boys are avoiding exactly what the issue is.
And
I
you were
love it.
avoiding defining what a hedge fund
I
is.
defined it. Go back and listen to the
hang
tape.
on. Very simple question. Is a hedge fund regulated by the SEC, yes or no?
Well, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be?
It should not be.
But is it, yes or no?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
So you don't
I'll
know.
give Vito credit on this
doesn't
one. That's a
matter.
gotcha question. I'm not going to get him the gotcha question there. I'll say Gene just set him up for a gotcha question. But my question was not a gotcha question. You had a very strong opinion on something that you don't know what it is.
All right, well, the debate will continue with the
Because Ted
Vito
Cruz
and Vito
told
show.
him to say that.
Yeah.
Or told him to think that. And I love Ted. By the way, I'm going to say it one more time, Gene, because I want to get this on the record so nobody can skew my words. The person I want to be the president of the United States is Ted Cruz. That's it. But Donald Trump is going to be the president. So take that as you will.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to get the car back on the road here. Gene and Russ and friends behind enemy lines. We'll be back, hopefully, right after this. And by the way, this being the Reverend Al. I love this segment, by the way. Take a listen to this. Gene and Russ will be back right after this.
The show will be right back. But first, a word from Al Sharpton.
Good evening, Rev. Thanks
Good evening,
to
Rev.
you, Ed. Is this Groundhog Day 2? We are watching that was Attorney General Eric Holder, ABDs, about some Republicans at home are already beating the drums of war. Today, the Pentagon refuted that claim. And he said the American people do not want him to, quote, dwindling, they do not want him whittling his thumbs. You can get a gig as a contortionist. Intravenous fluids and pills coated with gelatin. We don't leave our women or men in uniform behind. It's a monument to the hubris of Dick Cheney, Representative Raul Labrador. Years of abuse. I personally apologize to Mr. Peebles. Just ask to soon-to-be former Congressman. Democrats are outright jitty. CIA's counterterrorism center. Veteran Affairs Secretary Shinseki. Why do I always mess up his name? Shinseki. I love my critics. I have fun with that.
Politics Nation with the Reverend Al Sharpton starts right now. Good evening, Rev.
Good evening, Dr. Dyson.
But wait, there's more.
And we will much about that be committed. So there's no real conflict. Michael Druniak, including Lincoln himself, Daniel Day-Lewis. Behind Monica Lewinsky, the one and only Trey Songz is here. But Allison Lundergan Grimes, Gina De Jesus, when Gina De Jesus, Tea Party challenger Matt Bivens. People don't want to have their Social Security overall. The Republican savior, Mark Rubio's big night. In evolution and Galileo, this whole thing of Galileo, America's changed. Unless IT and Skillets, President Putin doing something similar back in, it won't change this fundamental fact about the GOP. Just how absurd these attacks is. Nearly 6 months after the dangerous traffic jam, the Thai military says, my friend for many years, Ilyana Van Zandt. There's nothing there.
And all we can get is an internet show? Let's get back to it.
So you see a hedge fund. Gene Russ, back behind enemy lines. They're still talking about what a hedge fund is, and totally trying to ruin my show. Russ, we're holding the show together by a thread because we're here on location at Cafe on the Hill in. Would you call this Bensonhurst or would you call this Gravesend?
It's Gravesend.
Gravesend, Brooklyn.
Most people never heard of it. Bensonhurst is good enough.
People know what Bensonhurst is, right? So that's what we're going to go with. We're waiting for maybe a couple of more war radio hosts to call in. Some of them will be able to hear us. Some of them won't, apparently, Russ. So
war. What is it good for?
Exactly right. Oh, Wayne's going to hear that one on replay, isn't he?
Wayne, I'm not going to finish that song. I'm a little drunk.
But actually, let me tell you something. War is now the number one. What do you mean now? Always has been. What am I saying? For the past year and a half. Has been and will be the number one political talk station on Live365.com. That's what we are and that's what we do here. So, okay. As we're looking at photos from the YR party that is dwindling down here, Russ, funky moments during the debate. I mentioned the high five that almost wasn't between Trump and Carson. I know awkward white guy high fives. That was an awkward white guy high five. Someone right now has probably already made a meme of Ben Carson looking at Donald Trump with that hand up in the air saying, "Is you crazy?" Because that's what it looked like his face was for a second. It was crazy.
I have two. Both of them against Rand Paul, who I happen to like.
Okay, first of all, can you just say what you said on what I quoted you on Twitter saying about
I
Rand
love
Paul?
it. So first of all, Rand Paul, and I got this from John, by the way, who was on the show earlier tonight. I thought this was brilliant. Rand Paul, right before the debate, he goes into a barbershop in his, I guess, California where they were, and apparently he asked for a blooming onion. Because what is up with Rand Paul's hair? I mean, we talk about Donald Trump's hair. What is going on with Rand's hair? Now, that leads me into the two awkward moments of the night. Donald Trump had a couple of zingers against Rand Paul, and if you remember, Rand Paul went against Donald Trump in the first debate pretty hard, and he's been promising all week to go against Donald Trump in this debate. Rand Paul, Donald Trump said, first of all, I haven't attacked Rand Paul's appearance, although there's plenty of subject matter there to be had. Number one, attack. Awkward moment for Rand Paul. Number two, and I did this actually first, Donald Trump said, Rand Paul doesn't even belong on this stage. He's in 11th place. He shouldn't be in this debate.
That set the tone, didn't it?
It did set the tone. Rand Paul was back on his heels, and I don't think he ever recovered from that one.
Well, let me tell you something. The first 90 minutes of this debate was awkward to me because CNN did a horrible job here of framing the issues. They made the issues out to be like, hey, junior high school kid, so-and-so said this about you. You're going to let them get away with that? That's what it was for the whole time. They made them fight with each other for the entertainment of the masses. I felt like it was a gladiatorial arena where they might as well just handed them the axes and let them chop each other up. CNN did people are going to talk about the end of the debate and how it got better, but CNN did an absolutely horrible, horrible job with the beginning of this debate and the way things went. I just didn't like it at all.
First of all, for hour one, Dr. Ben Carson had 0 minutes. I think his opening statement he had a minute or less. So, Dr. Ben Carson,
policy was nothing for Ted Cruz.
He had no question. CNN did a horrible job, and we're not just saying that because we're always against the media. Let me give you a quick, and Gene, I'm not going to filibuster here, quick lesson on what a debate is. I'm the debate moderator. I have 11 people in front of me. All 11 people are more important than me, because guess what? In less than a year and change, one of them is going to be the President of the United States. Here's what I say. Candidates, Iran. That's it. You got a minute. Go. That's a debate. Not what was going on tonight. What was going on tonight was better than Megyn Kelly. Better. But Jake Tapper basically, every question for the first hour and a half was, Donald Trump said this, Mr. So-and-so, what do you think? Mr. Trump, so-and-so said this, what do you think? That was disgraceful.
And then they go back and they say, after they answer something, well, that wasn't what I asked you. I mean, you're not the show, okay, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash and Hugh Hewitt. You're not the reason why we're watching. I don't need you to frame your question for 10 minutes either, by the way. When you start filibustering and trying to shade a question before it's even asked. I don't need any of that from you.
Dana Bash, by the way.
Okay, first of all, your name's Dana, all right? That's the first thing.
Let's start there.
We're from Brooklyn. Your name's Dana. Sorry, I don't care what you say it is. You're wrong.
Why did you look different tonight than you've ever looked on CNN before?
You noticed that too, right? The hair.
The face.
The
color.
Everything.
The skin color. Wow. I guess CNN really did expect a big Trump audience. By the way, Democrats, I know you got to be listening. Where are your debates? Where are your debates?
Listen, the science is settled. I mean, the candidate's settled, isn't it?
Why are we not hearing from your candidates? Do you not realize that by Republicans debating all the time, our message is getting out there? We're reaching out to new communities, new groups of people that we never have. Do you really believe, and Gene, this is a serious question, I want you to answer this, and John, I'd even like you to jump in on this. Do you really believe that minorities of all stripes, not just blacks, I'm talking about minorities in general, are coming out for Hillary Clinton in the numbers that they came out for Barack Obama in?
Oh, I don't think so at all. No.
Is that even possible?
I don't think so at all. Now, in all honesty, I don't think anybody's coming out for Hillary Clinton because she's Hillary Clinton. Forget about, race, ethnicity, what have you. I think that's the deal right there. I think because nobody trusts Hillary Clinton. Maybe I have my blinders on, my color blinders on, but that's what I see. By the way, folks, while we're talking to you now on this special edition of Behind Enemy Lines that we're doing kind of late here, I appreciate everybody listening, by the way, staying up late with us after that 3-hour marathon of a debate. We actually have a little bit of a chat room going on. We got some diehards in the chat hanging out with us. I want to shout out to the chat room where Russ has been stealing comments from all night. I haven't had it up because bandwidth is an issue here at Cafe on the Hill, and we're trying to keep it as minimal as possible. But, Russ, anything exciting going on in the chat? You see any comments here and there? It looks like we got a couple people in there. What is the feeling in the chat about Trump and all the other candidates? Do we see that there's a feeling about who's up and who's down, or is it just a little bit of banter?
I mean, it's a little bit of banter. I don't really want to bash our chat room.
Just do it.
Go
ahead.
We have a rhino or two in the chat room, as usual. First of all, here's my thing, Gene, that I want to get to all the rhinos out there. If you're a rhino, right, or a moderate Republican, whatever you like to call yourself, why would you not like a guy like Donald Trump? It's so funny to me, Gene, that our moderate friends, or rhinos, like to point out Donald Trump's inconsistencies when it comes to things like Obamacare or things like abortion. That's what moderates and rhinos love. So why is this an issue? You should love it, and you should love Donald.
You know what? I agree with you on that. And one of the more awkward moments for me was when Jeb tried to say that he was his own man and not his family. Gee, I think his logo said it all, too. Jeb, if you notice, the name Bush appears nowhere in that sucker right there. I mean, that to me shows that, yes, they asked him who would he appoint that would be different than his father or his brother or his aunt or his uncle or his cousin, whoever else served in office. And he was like, I'm going to have a team, and it's going to be a really good team, and I'm more than my family name and all this stuff. But he's not. He's never going to get away from it. It's just not going to happen.
Jeb had one good line tonight that I was able to hear. It's a little
Was that the one about apologizing to his wife? Because that's another shining moment in CNN.
Jeb said Donald Trump and him got into a little jabbing contest, and Jeb actually said something great. He said, we were safe under George Bush for 7 years, because it was a debate over the Iraq War, I believe. And you know what, Jeb? Kudos to you. I agree with that. The candidates who are coming out hardcore against the Iraq War, that's not going to sell. It's not going to sell.
Will attacks against George W. Bush fall onto Jeb Bush? Will the sins of the brother land on the brother? It seemed like some of the candidates, especially Trump, was trying to do that tonight.
Well, it's definitely possible, but the thing to think about really is this, Gene. The last two Republican presidents were named what?
Bush and Clinton.
The last two Republican presidents were named what?
Guys, by the way, it's almost midnight here, so I'm going to look. The last two Republican presidents were named Bush and Bush.
Okay, so there's Jeb's downfall.
It's
late. This is
the
United States of America. There's not going to be a Bush. It's not going to happen. Jeb, you're gone. Jeb, done.
Get off the stage or stay on the stage?
Jeb had that good comment. I'll give him that. Now, one comment in the chat room by Amanda, our resident rhino. She wrote, "Rhinos are tactical, Donald is not." I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to pull a Mitt Romney. I'll bet anybody, an amount of money to be determined, that Donald Trump lasts longer in this race than Jeb Bush. Who wants to take that bet? You email us, tweet us, whatever you got to do. I'll bet you.
And by the way, this is a good time to do some plugs. Thanks for listening to Behind Enemy Lines after dark, apparently, here at Cafe on the Hill in Bensonhurst, Gravesend, Brooklyn, New York. I'm Gene, he's Russ, and while we got you listening this late, check us out online at www.behindenemylinesradio.us. You can listen to the show on podcast on any number of different outlets, including iTunes, Player FM, Podbase, Spreaker, Stitcher, and, of course, podcasts.com, our newest one, which we'll be putting a link to on our site. And then check us out on the Facebooks and the Twitters at BEL_radio. Overall, Russ.
Are those all of our interweb
we got a lot
references?
of interwebs. Yes, we have a lot of interwebs.
Right.
We're trying to get the show out to as many people
I
as
heard
possible.
we got to get the show out there on the interwebs to be popular.
Yeah, but when you said that, you walked over to the spiderweb in the corner of the bar and put a logo. That's not what we meant. That's not getting it on the webs. That's not it. I know it's late. It's okay. Bad jokes happen. Let's start wrapping this up here because they're starting to close down the place. I just heard last call.
I did hear last call. And
We got
our friend
about
William
5-6 minutes left.
O'Neill, who has, I believe he's endorsed the show.
Yeah, but you know what? I want to get William on right now for one reason. William, pull up a chair.
Is
I
it
want you
because
to...
he's red-faced and
Yeah,
plastered?
pull it between me
That's
and Russ
really
over
why.
here. Here's what we're going to do. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I learned something about William P. O'Neill, our good friend, this week that shocked me. You are a Jeb Bush supporter. Is that not true? Yes or no? Come close. Don't be scared of the mic. Come close. Yes or no?
Yes, I am.
Wow!
I approve of Jeb Bush.
And how do you think he did tonight? How do you think he did?
I think he did a lot better than expected. He held his own for him being who he is. And he stood toe-to-toe as best he could with Gallo's boy Trump. And let me be the first one to take Gallo up on his
He's
challenge.
Gallo.
Mark my words. I, William P. O'Neill III, am saying it's Bush, Jeb Bush, or it's Trump. And I'm going with the Jeb.
Trump. Wow. Okay, we got to bring in some other guests here that have hung out with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to be Yak Attack once again. Yakov Bard, the Yak Attack. Buckle up, here he is. All right, who's your big winner?
My big winner totally has to be Carly Fiorina. Because once again, she has proven that not only has she earned a spot at the top tier list, she has completely ruled. People have been saying that Donald Trump is a Teflon Don. Well, Carly Fiorina's begged to differ. She has been the only person that not only was able to take on Donald Trump, but not look like a jackass like Lindsey Graham and other rhinos have. She proves that the right path to taking on someone like Donald Trump is not only being knowledgeable on the issues and sticking to the issues and not making it too personal.
He's running out of gas. We got to reel him back. Reel him back in, Russ. Reel him back in.
For the record, before the debate even started, Yak said that Carly Fiorina was a real MILF.
Whoa, okay. We're not going there at all.
Can I confirm or deny?
All right, thanks a lot, Yak, for coming on. Well, you know what? I think everybody's here is giving their opinion but me, Russ. And I gotta be honest, I am the quintessential undecided voter right now in the Republican Party because my guy Rick Perry dropped out. I thought Rick would have been great on this stage. Yes, let's all raise a glass. Here, I got one here left here. Let's all raise a glass to Governor Perry. God bless you, brother. You did a great job. We love you. I would have voted for you. And now I'm left undecided. So I'm really the voter that they're after right now, Russ. And for me, yes, Carly Fiorina did a great job in the second debate.
And to MILF. Oh, I mean...
That's not what I'm saying. Thank
I'm just
you.
reading your show prep notes,
You're not...
Gene. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing.
But for me, when I was looking for a candidate to who was speaking, and I was looking to see what was going on and who was talking at the time, the only one who kept my attention was Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, he didn't get enough face time. That's the first thing. He started off talking very slowly and meticulously. That you pointed that out in the beginning of the debate, Rosie. He kind of picked it up towards the end. But he is the only one that grabbed my attention and kept it through his whole speech. And he's also the only one that I noticed that CNN's Jake Tapper would step on every last statement he made just to ruin the soundbite. I think there's something out there that people are scared of Ted Cruz getting traction. Because once he does, look out. He didn't get traction tonight, but he will.
Listen, if Donald Trump...
Whose drink is this, by the way? Is this mine or is
That's
this yours?
That's yours.
Thanks.
If Donald Trump... Oh, that's mine. All right, forget it. If Donald Trump was not in this race, Ted Cruz by far would be king of the nerds. But Donald Trump's in the race, and there's a cool guy in this race. So there you go. I mean, I like Ted Cruz. I agree with everything he says, and I think he's a true conservative. I really do. But like you said earlier, and I said before you, I believe, he speaks slowly. He speaks slowly, carries a big stick, whatever that means. Too slowly for when you have 1 minute to tell everyone your opinion and 30 seconds to respond to an attack. If you're speaking slowly with pauses, that's not enough time. A guy like Donald Trump, this is where he surges.
He needs to bring up the cadence. I agree with you on that. But for me, as far
and by the way, Ben Carson, second place, this is his problem right now. Mark this segment, Gene. Carly Fiorina is going to surge, and the numbers are going to come from Ben Carson, not Donald Trump. Because Carson has the same slow cadence.
And just a final thought from me now, because we're going to get off the air here. It's been a hell of a night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us late here on Behind Enemy Lines. We're going to plug the Brooklyn YRs, of course, like we always do. The Brooklyn YRs put through a great party. There's going to be some photos up on www.brooklynYRS.com. Check them out. Don't you wish you were here with us, by the way, with the Brooklyn YRs. We had a great time. Russ, here's my final thought, and it's a name we haven't mentioned yet, and it's Scott Walker. He's going to be the next one to drop out. He did nothing to distinguish himself. He did nothing to put himself out there in front of the people. He had canned lines. He was stiff. He was uncomfortable. It just didn't work for him. That's someone I think is going to be gone soon. I agree with you. Carly Fiorina sees a surge. Trump maybe sees a small dip, because there will be some people out there who are going to walk away from Trump and walk towards Carly. Carson probably lost the most tonight because he had the most to lose, but nobody else really gained. Maybe Mike Huckabee gained amongst social conservatives because he had some great lines, and he was basically the only one that really had anything to say about social conservative issues, but that's it. So, yes, Carly wins again. She's going to see some gains, but I think she's also going to see some losses when we go into the next debate. Here we go again next month. It's getting nutty, folks. We're in the silly season. It's going to be like this for a good long time. Buckle up with Behind Enemy Lines. Rush, you ready to shut this sucker down?
I am. Biggest loser tonight, Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton's the biggest loser. 90% of Americans think that illegal immigration is a problem. All the Republicans on the stage also believe that. Clinton's losing big time. Gene, shut this mofo down.
All right. From a very tired studio here at Cafe on the Hill, Behind Me Line signing off. Till next week. Good night, folks.
Our position has been compromised. It's time to roll out. Report for debriefing at www.behindenemylinesradio.us and look for regular communications via Facebook and Twitter at BEL_radio. You are the resistance. Behind Enemy Lines. A rock radio production. Copyright 2015. Back in 7 days. Out.
The leader in talk radio on the internet. Right here on K98Talk.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Hey folks, Slickery Trigger here. I'd like to take a minute to tell you about Rebel Road Tactical. As a defensive pistol instructor, I've had the opportunity to observe many different holster designs and configurations. And one thing is clear. Many of my students won't carry a pistol. Or worse, they'll carry one without a holster at all. Holster designers aren't making holsters for normal people. It seems that most holsters are either an expensive piece of gear designed for Rambo or a piece that doesn't fit or function the way real people need it to fit and function. So, like any good Texan, I decided to learn to form kydex and design one myself, one that would fit the needs of average people. The result is the Rebel Road Tactical CRT Modular. The CRT stands for Carry, Range, and Training. Its thin and lightweight curved design minimizes printing and is adjustable to fit just right for superior comfort and function. Check us out after the show at rebelroadconcealed.blogspot.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.